and stretch. I invite you to do that, get the blood flowing. You've got a big evening of wining and dining and drinking and touristing and catching up with friends and meeting new ones to come along. I thought I would keep my coverage as brief as I possibly can. I have a tendency to be long-winded, so start to look bored if you're actually bored. First, just on behalf of my co-founders and myself, Peter DeMandis and Eric Anderson, I am really excited to be a part of this community. This is a community that is in the space business, not because it was an exciting career opportunity and it seemed like a good idea at the time. You're here because you are very passionate about creating the future. And we could be at another conference and everyone would be talking about, well, why isn't so-and-so doing this, that, and the other thing? Everyone at this conference is here asking yourself, well, how can I do X? What's the next step that I can do to create this future that I think is tantalizingly close? And if we only did this, we could do that. So, that's essentially, I run an asteroid mining company. A very, very audacious idea, well before its time. But I'm doing this because I believe that it is tantalizingly close. And through a series of steps, we can create that future sooner than anyone else rallied to think it deserves to happen. And we're doing this because we think it's a critical part of the economy on this planet and future planets and future solar systems. And it's going to take everyone else's businesses in the room to make it happen. The support we've already received from the United States governments and the other governments around the world, many entrepreneurs, both US and otherwise, and the next colony not on this planet. And the way that I hear a lot of the conversations going on, yesterday and today is what's the next step we can do? What can I do today? Not how do I get these 10 things in a row so that one day maybe we can do this? What's the step we can take? So we are using Earth orbit as our test bed, and we're looking for the things that make sense. If you look back in retrospect in 2020 or 2025 or 2030, it's like, oh yeah, it's obvious they would have done something like that because they had to do that to get to this step, and then and then AI happened and driverless cars, and everyone suddenly had more time. So this is part of our Sirius constellation, and using the same sensors that we need to prospect resources on asteroids is like, well, that's a very useful thing. It's about making something that was once scarce and only the domain of governments and large companies, making it more abundant, making it more accessible. Not as accessible as we'd like tomorrow, but a step on that direction. And today it is using the CubeSat form factor essentially as a research laboratory. It's an awesome environment, a standard that was developed, for university and commercial purposes not too long ago. And with a very small team that would once have taken governments, we're able to kind of do this full stack integration. And But these are the types of things that having a lot of entrepreneurs in a thriving community experimenting with ideas, throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. This is really about teamwork and about really not reading the book and implementing the lessons, but writing the book and figuring out the new way to do things that most people say probably won't work, or most people say, well, it's too risky, or I'm not going to do that today, we'll do that tomorrow. So it's working those balances of things. So this is what we're focused on with our Ceres constellation, and really an Earth orbiting platform to test things, using the benefits of being able to create many, many satellites and looking at different areas of the spectrum, and doing what we think we are best at, which is taking advanced measurements, measuring the composition of things, and using that in Earth orbit to build a business. And this is something with two different instruments looking at hyperspectral data and midwave data. We think these are things that are a pretty good idea for looking at hydrated minerals and resources on asteroids. And our science advisors and members of our team really believe that this is how we can commercially understand resource and do the same things in the traditional mining industry that you would need to do in creating the new mining industry. Someone that they can meet. And I think the thing that surprises me most about having worked in space for now almost 20 years is it's still a very, very, very small world. And you never know when that person that you were once kind of ticked at ends up on your team now and has to be your best buddy. So we all have the same goal in mind. I think we have a difference of opinion of what the next best step is. But that's what I think is fun about the space community, is we just have this shared vision of what we know is possible. And a lot of things that I remind our team of and our investors in Planetary Resources, as an engineer and someone who has had the opportunity to do some really fun things, I truly believe that what is possible is inevitable. And we are the people who just kind of make that happen. So your day is only half done. Now comes the next fun part. We would be happy to host everyone here at Frolic starting at 7:30 tonight for a reception. I'd be happy to meet everyone and talk more with you. I hope you have the opportunity to meet more people. We're excited to be creating the next space industry here in Seattle and around the world with all the entrepreneurs in the audience, and really inspired by everyone's passion for this, and very excited to think about where we'll be in a year, 5 years, 10 years' time. Certainly arguing about new problems, but Loretta Whitesides, who people probably know from Yuri's Night, and of course is married to George from Virgin Galactic. She's a friend of mine, and one of the things that she reminded me, because I will say from time to time asteroid mining is hard. Not all the days are fun. Some of the days are pretty difficult. But she said something to me that I reflect on frequently, and I'd like to share with everyone here, in that think about the problems that you're having today, and remind yourself that your 5-year-ago self or your 10-year-ago self probably would have killed to have the opportunity to work those problems. So the problems never go away. The quality of your problems improves, and your ability to solve them improves as well. So have a wonderful night.